Now let's get into the film and discuss why LeBron's basketball IQ is overrated and has held him back from winning more than he has.
All right, welcome back to the show, everyone. I hope you all are having a good day so far. So, apparently, really great video and small channel is what I've been told here. So comments led me to this video, which is called "LeBron James IQ is Overrated," and this is from a channel called Eric Smith Sports Training, and they have 210 subscribers. And you guys know me. Like, if it's good content and it's a small channel, I love giving a shout out. I have not watched any of this. I mean, I screamed through about like 15 seconds of it just to check it. So I don't know if it's great, but I'm told it's great, and I trust the community. So let's check it out. And I'm gonna ask you guys to do the thing that I'm gonna do, if you want, which is, if you end up liking the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's see if we can make a positive impact on someone's day. But that's if you like the content. And same thing, if I don't like the content, I'm not gonna subscribe. But we'll find out. Anyways. Yeah, I'm going to link the original video down below to you guys. So if you want to check it out and subscribe or check out the original video, go right ahead. It's right there for you. I don't think I have anything else to say on the intro. I'm just curious about this video. So let's see why LeBron James IQ is overrated. For me, I think LeBron's IQ is pretty high on the basketball court, but his execution is terrible. Once pressure kicks in, it takes over. You know how it is. When anxiety kicks in, you're not thinking straight anymore. So I think he has the knowledge, but still to this day, after 22 years, he can't handle the pressure, and it causes him to do stupid things.
It's definitely disappointing, but nothing has lost. No, we haven't lost nothing yet, and we just got to still believe.
Question, I was just looking for somebody to get open. We still had 2 seconds to get
No, you missed the pass. You missed the first pass. The first pass was to Austin Reeves right here. Keep an eye on him.
Ball across half court, but
Watch
everybody kind of went into the front court.
Wide open for the pass, but you missed it. Okay, I just say it true. You missed the pass. That was the look right there. Okay, now it's too late. But now you're looking at him. Now it's too late. Now you got to go make a bad pass to Luka. I watched this whole thing.
If I could take it
Bang.
back.
Yep.
In a timeout, maybe just have one guy break open to the backcourt. We still had time. 2, absolutely. I mean, that play happens all the time. Hand is part of the ball. That's what they say.
No, we said that in the 80s. We don't say that now. Now you touch someone the wrong way and you get a flagrant foul. Different league, LeBron.
I felt like the hand was a part of that ball. I was able to get his hand on top of the ball stripped down and out on him. So I've seen that play over and over before. But
there's a reason why we used to be taught to not swipe down, but swipe upwards. So we'd be in a low stance, and then we would have the palms of our hands facing up. We would run drills for this because that's the way you steal without fouling. You get under the ball and pop it up. Not on top of the ball, and obviously slap the wrist. That's not the ball, LeBron. This is the ball, okay?
This is one of the reasons why LeBron's basketball IQ is overrated. Look at the 2 responses. One is of hope and moving on. The other is focusing on justifying the past.
Yep.
Instead of LeBron,
he's let excuse for a reason.
I'm thinking, why did I swipe down when I had Ant in a terrible spot with only 2 seconds on the shot clock? He's focused on the call.
Yeah, he should have just gone for
Instead
the block.
of thinking, why did I throw the ball to Luka's right hand where McDaniels could get it, instead of throwing it to his left hand away from McDaniels? Instead, he wants Luka to risk a 10-second count. LeBron James is one of the greatest winners statistically we've ever seen. He's one of the greatest players we've ever seen. But I'm here to tell you, as someone who's done extensive research on his entire career and watched many of his interviews and done the same with other top players, it has become clear to me that LeBron James' basketball IQ is slightly overrated. Now, LeBron loves creating narratives, from wearing a cast for a Game 1 injury after a Game 4 loss to remind the press JR cost him the finals. to carrying copies of books he hasn't read.
So you're holding the autobiography of Malcolm. What's your biggest takeaway so far?
I kind of just started a couple days ago. Read and a lot of notes over the years. This is my first time actually reading this from start to finish. Very smart man. Very smart man. Basically.
To outright claiming he's the GOAT.
All of you guys, be real to yourselves. If you're full of crap and you're just talking out your ass, don't you say a whole bunch of times too? Don't we all?
Right there made me the greatest player of all time.
That one right there made it. Gave me a reason to start a YouTube channel.
For so many reasons.
But despite all that, narrative or not, most people, including me, agree he's an all-time great and we have been blessed to witness him play. But a narrative that has always been said about him by others, in my opinion, mostly because he's an extremely skilled passer for a 6'9" forward and has a photographic memory, is that he has an extremely high basketball IQ. Some even saying it's second ever to Magic Johnson. I want to be clear.
No, I only saw Magic crumble once under pressure, and then he never did it again. And he never did it before that. So, very different. But once again, I have a different angle with this. Because those two things he showed in the intro of this video that were bad IQ, that was all in the last 31 seconds of high-pressure game. To me, that's choking.
He does have a very high basketball IQ. But the distinction I'm making in this video is that sports IQ has multiple facets. And the part I'm obsessed with on this channel is winning intangibles. There are players I feel in this generation, in fact in the playoffs right now, that have a higher basketball IQ than LeBron. IQ is not just memorization, it's problem solving. LeBron is an all-time great in memorizing plays, understanding offensive systems, etc. But where he's simply only been above average in his career is a sports IQ of knowing how to win games. Understanding at each moment all the different chess pieces psychologically going on and figuring out exactly what's needed to win. We've all played with these people in open gyms. One guy seems like an average player and just seems to always make those little winning plays and keeps winning and stays on the court. The guy with an endless bag but always loses heartbreaking games, but he keeps getting picked up and then he loses again.
James Harden?
Perhaps it's best explained in this clip by B.J. Armstrong talking about Michael Jordan.
Starting over that season, I felt Michael Jordan never played basketball anymore. He just figured out how to win the game. He knew how to steer momentum. He knew how to...
Yo, it's going to get copyright struck, man. It's a good song, though. NBA Street. NBA Street. You guys ever played NBA Street? I think this is from Volume 2. This song, over and over and over again on there. Such good memories from the PS2, PlayStation 2.
To get guys going. And not only was he that good on the offensive end, he was just as good on the defensive end. So he was...
Just going to do a quick pause there. And hopefully no strikes. I've been getting a lot of copyright strikes lately, guys. I mean, not copyright strikes, but a lot of demonetization lately.
Just playing a different game than the rest of us. He let us play, but he was there to win the game. And he knew that. And once he figured that out...
Sorry. It's something you don't have to worry about when you're a small content creator. Like, it's, you don't have to worry about it.
You couldn't beat him.
I hope you're starting to understand what I mean now. And I do think LeBron has improved in this regard, specifically during...
Like an unk at the Y?
his second stint in Cleveland after he learned...
Hold on. What was it? What was it?
You couldn't beat him.
I hope you're starting to understand what I mean now. And I do think LeBron has improved in this regard, specifically during his second stint in Cleveland after he learned it with Dwayne Wade on the Heat. In the last 3 to 4 years, LeBron has seemingly realized that his last 3 GOAT claims that are still in play are 1, longevity and stats, 2, playing with his sons, and 3, being quote-unquote the smartest player ever. Seeing that Michael Jordan has been a poor owner and has never engaged in social justice...
How is he smarter than Magic Johnson or Larry Bird? Forget Michael Jordan. I mean, because that's all we ever hear. But how about some other players? How is he smarter than Tim Duncan?
It has illuminated what LeBron will pursue after he retires as well. To accomplish his goal as being known as the smartest player ever, he first started out with giving actually very impressive recollection and memorization of the breakdown of plays in various interviews.
No, I think he does have a photographic memory, but he does change the narrative in his head, so his interpretation of reality is a little bit off. But he does remember stuff in basketball games, like To the T.
And seemingly realizing the narrative isn't enough, he started doing podcasts and finally started his own podcast with his now coach, JJ Redick.
Yeah,
and
now with
probably
Nash.
got him hired in the first place.
Oh, no.
I don't just go online and look up LeBron James highlights.
We all watch our own highlights on YouTube. LeBron.
Do you watch your flop compilation?
LeBron, I'm telling you.
You've never gone on YouTube?
Yes, I have.
And hey, maybe if this gets enough likes.
Oh my God, that means there's a possibility he's seen some flop compilations. How, dude? I would pay money to sit next to LeBron, have some drinks, and watch that flop compilation next to him, and just laugh, see how he feels. Don't worry, I'll usher myself to the front door and leave. I can leave by myself, sir.
And shares on social media, LeBron will actually respond to it on his Mind in the Game pod. Just kidding. Surely there's no way that happens, right?
Right?
If you see this, LeBron, I feel a lot of people hate on you and don't have the guts to actually discuss it with you. So I'm here to tell you, I live in Cali. If you ever want to discuss it, I will meet you in LA. We can discuss it. You have my word. Now let's get into the film and discuss why LeBron's basketball IQ is overrated and has held him back from winning more than he has. Now, as I've said, I think LeBron's basketball IQ in terms of play memorization and passing concepts is one of the best ever. I want to discuss
What even just happened there?
in terms of play
Oh,
memorization.
off his knee, I think? Okay.
And passing concepts is one of the best ever. I want to discuss the winning play side of basketball IQ. As a trainer myself, I can't teach players to be 6'9", 260, but players I want them to emulate, make winning plays, and understand how and when to make them.
Yeah, you can teach a mindset. Yeah, for sure. That's key.
The first aspect I want to talk about with LeBron, and I hope I get to ask him one day to his face. When you have the God-given talent, you are so blessed to be in the position you're in, you have to consistently get back on defense. I couldn't find the clip, but I've heard that LeBron views it as he wouldn't be able to get back anyways, so might as well stay back to get the 2 free points. As every person that we've played with that cherry-picked and pickup has said.
Yeah, and every generation of basketball, if your name's not LeBron James, you get benched for doing that. Because the thing is yeah, maybe it's a fast break, but it's a fast break because you're not getting back on defense. Now the numbers are in their favor. It's a 5-on-4. And what if it is a 5-on-4? You're late to the play, which is fine. It happens. And they miss a shot. Now what? You know, why aren't you there on defense, or why aren't you there trying to get that defensive rebound to gain possession? What is this assuming that they're going to score and you can just cherry pick? That's not good basketball.
Sometimes it ends up being the case, but there are so many instances of his teammates busting it to extend the half-court possession, and he eventually returns right as his opponent score.
Yeah.
You might consider getting Cat back in the game with the 4 personal fouls. Beasley finds Vando underneath Timberwolves.
Minnesota's field percentage has been plummeting. Getting down there with the Lakers. Lakers are just under 40% shooting.
Yeah. He's doing this on offense now, too. This is very different. So now there's 5 defenders, and there's only four people on offense, because where's LeBron? Why did he go to the corner? Why did he go to the corner? It was like he was going to the bench.
Minnesota 41.
Where are you, buddy? Help your team.
Anthony.
Yeah, why wasn't he part of that possession? What kind of leader does that?
As you can see, the theme, he's either frustrated with what he perceives as teammate's mistake or a referee.
Go rest on the bench.
But again, you can chalk it up to hustle, but to me, it's also a part of winning basketball IQ. You have to understand the situation.
He never even moved. He stayed in that spot and waited for the ball. It's terrible.
Now again, I don't want this to be a bashing LeBron statement.
Wow.
I more want to illustrate a few players at the end who I feel have a winning plays IQ. But at the same time, a lot of young players do emulate LeBron, and I think it's important to pick and choose. We want players to take things that make players great and leave other things behind like this. So I'm just going to highlight a few here. Okay, we've all seen this play. If I'm LeBron, and hopefully all of you watching who play sports, if you had the choice between playing with grown men who are confident, have pride, who demand respect, between yes men who are there to follow you around like sheep, you're going to choose the dogs. So part of basketball IQ and winning intangibles is how you react to and treat your teammates during games.
Yeah.
If you have dogs in your team, they're not trying to see their leader look and act like this, blaming and pouting when the game is not over yet.
Exactly.
Many people say LeBron's performance against the Celtics in Game 7 was his best performance.
You know, people forget with this footage, the game wasn't over. They were heading for overtime. This was a huge game. But then he quits on his team.
But man, this Game 1, I watched every minute, and up until he mentally checked out for the overtime, I think his performance in regulation was his best ever. But part of basketball IQ...
Okay, this is actually crucial. So he had 49 in regulation, 2 points in overtime, 0 for 4 shooting. Yeah, he gave up. All he did was make 2 free throws. Cavs lose in overtime 17-7. Yeah, because the team... I actually feel bad for JR. Yeah, he messed up. He made a bad mistake. But then as a leader, you should step in and be like, it's all right, we're going to get him in overtime. Shake it off. Forget about it. We'll talk about it later. Let's go get the win. But instead, no, you can see all the footage of LeBron on the sidelines right next to JR. Won't make eye contact with anybody. Doesn't say a word with anybody. Doesn't even acknowledge Coach Lou. Like, I've never seen a star check out like that. So, of course, what's going to happen if you're leading the team and everyone now is uncomfortable? What's going to happen in overtime? Of course, nobody knows what to do. The leader checked out. So now what? All hands jump off the ship. It's over.
Is knowing how to get the best of your teammates. And in this instance, not only did LeBron shut down himself, he also shut his teammates down. And as we saw at the beginning of the video with the cast, he let the world know it was his teammates'
there it is.
fault.
That was it. That's it. It's over. Now his head is on fire and he's going to cry.
The ref's fault.
Look at this.
So
who does this? Look, he just killed his spirit. It's over now. You know, everyone is just sitting here thinking their job is to console LeBron instead of go out there and win a finals game. This isn't a finals, you guys. This isn't some regular season game.
In summary so far, the 2 things that if you're an up-and-coming athlete and you want a high basketball IQ for winning, first, don't overthink the strategy.
It's like a baby, like a child. It's literally like a giant pouting baby. It's so weird to see a giant grown man like this.
To hustle, just
look
hustle at all times. It's always there.
Look. Coach is coaching right now. Coach Lou's right here. He's coaching everyone. You're engaged. JR is, oh man, he's hurting right now, but he's engaged. What's LeBron doing? Where's he looking? Elsewhere. Good leader.
The answer, because 1, it motivates your teammates, and 2, it obviously, of course, usually brings better results. Secondly, learning how to motivate and lead your teammates and doing it when the going gets tough, not just when it's easy.
Like he's crying again.
Last thing, I think he's a bit overrated.
Guys, I can't exaggerate that. That footage is that footage. It's real.
With in basketball IQ is the half court, and specifically on his drives. He has only ever developed in 22 years a line drive and an occasional counter spin move. In his younger years, he would occasionally jump stop, but because he doesn't have any footwork, it often leads to bad decisions late in games.
Yep.
Of course, also his free throw shooting.
That's an interesting point, because as Jordan got older, his footwork got better. And LeBron's, it's gotten worse, hasn't it? He's more clunky and like heavy-legged than I ever remember him in his career. Now it's just like there's 200 pounds on each leg now that he's carrying around. Until he jumps, the guy can still jump out of the building. It's weird.
Superstars have endless late shot clock footwork to get free, but LeBron often throws the ball to teammates late in the clock who are somewhat open, but are often not expecting the ball, or their defender does a flying closeout knowing they don't have any time to blow by.
Yeah, he does dribble out the clock all the time. A little less since Luka's been around, because Luka's got the ball in his hands a little more, but the rest of his career, he's notoriously just dribbled the ball until there's 21 seconds left on the clock. I'm sorry, until there's 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Throw it to a teammate and hope for a prayer.
So while I think LeBron is not necessarily unclutch or scared at the end of games like some people have said, he is an above-average clutch time player, but he has often let down, especially earlier in his career in late-game decision-making. Many times he was doing a straight-line drive, and when a help man would slide down to bait LeBron into passing to a role player for a 3, he would always take the bait, and of course, they're not expecting it, and they would miss.
Yep.
Okay, now if you're asking,
I mean, you don on the jersey number 23 and call yourself the chosen one and the king. People are expecting you to take that last shot, man.
Can we look to that are excelling with the winning intangible side of basketball IQ? Here are a few of my favorite that are currently in the playoffs.
By the way, game on, man. You got a subscriber. Cool video so far.
These players do a ton of winning things that don't always show up in the box score, such as making the extra pass, setting the right screen, organizing a play that's gone wrong, rotating off the worst shooter late in the shot clock to force the ball to be passed to them, boxing out much bigger players, picking up full court to disrupt when a team just...
Boxing out's a huge one. We don't see him do that. Actually, we don't see barely anyone do that anymore. It's kind of sad.
Called a slow developing set. Spacing in the right spot, knowing where to cut, studying the offensive players' tendencies when they're on defense and forcing players away from their strengths. Jimmy Butler, Davion Mitchell, Lou Dort, Chris Dunn, Norman Powell, Jared Vanderbilt, Jaden McDaniels, Amen Thompson, Josh Hart, and of course my personal favorite, Jrue Holiday.
Yeah.
To me, this is the other half of basketball IQ. And the few times in history where elite athletes have combined it with skill, we've seen them win a lot of championships. MJ had this sort of sports IQ. Wayne Gretzky had it, Tiger Woods had it, and Tom Brady had it.
Yeah, they're the little intangibles that don't show up on a box score. So if you're a stat patter, you don't care about this. But if you're a champion and a winner, yeah, this means the world. All these little scrappy things you got to do to win.
They all have in common. They're all
Think Dennis Rodman. 90% of his contributions, not 90%, I'd say about 50 to 60% of his actual contributions on the court are not recorded as far as statistically. Just his rebounds, his steals and the blocks are really recorded. But outside of that, all the little intangibles he's doing, yeah, you have to watch the game and understand what he's accomplishing and what he's doing to the other team, when and why. It's brilliance. By the way, Carl Lewis, that was my dog, man. I loved track and field when I was a kid because of him.
In this video, though, for the sake of time, I'd like to highlight just a couple of sentiments about the guys I've listed above and then some plays from Jrue Holiday.
We gonna win, bro. He was like, we gonna be a top 5 seed in the West. We gonna win. We gonna shock the world. People don't believe me. He was like, I'm that good. I was like, damn, Jimmy, I'm good too. Like, you know what I mean? He was like, nah, I'm that good, bro. I'm gonna change this whole thing around. Like, Cat gonna average 25. Wig gonna average 20 something. I'm gonna average like 18. He was like, but they're gonna be the main focal point. I'm gonna do all the little things. First 2 games of the season, we wasn't looking that good. Jimmy come in the locker room, he was like, fuck this team. I gotta be me. I gotta take over this whole thing. He started killing, and he just started like, they ain't the ones. Like, they don't got it. And I'm like, damn, Jimmy, they got it. Like, he's like, they ain't got it. They don't believe like we believe. They used to losing. I don't know how to lose. I ain't used to losing. They used to losing. And he just started being him, and the whole thing changed.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. A losing culture is a hard thing to break. Ask Jordan in 84.
Believing in him. But, when somebody got that kind of willpower, some guys can't handle.
Here are some of the small winning things Jimmy does. Look at this first clip. Jimmy has never liked taking threes, believing just like MJ that they take away from his aggressive mindset. But as he's organizing his teammates, he realizes they're trying to blow up the play by sagging, so he purposefully shoots knowing he's going to have to make them respect it at some point. This next play really typifies Jimmy Butler. Great read on the rebound, quick outlet, reads that Triple J has his head turned, and jump stops and waits for Jerry Payton Jr. to cut and makes a great pass.
Yep.
On this next play, he's waiting on the wing for Quentin Post and GP to make some off-ball cuts, but he sees his last 3 didn't do the trick. Aldama is still sagging. So he passes the ball off knowing he's going to get it right back, and Aldama will sag again, and he'll have to shoot again to make them respect it. Memphis came in with the game plan to make Jimmy a shooter and clog the paint against his driving kicks. But now, because he purposefully established his shot, Aldama's up and all Grizzlies defenders are just staying home. Jimmy now gets to execute his favorite part of his game again, drive right to the middle of the paint until some help defender becomes impatient, and then he can kick to a shooter. Sure enough, Kennard falls for the bait. GPJ, who has a pretty high winning IQ himself, sets a back screen, and it's a 3. This is a sub to 1.
Where did he switch off? Hold on.
Winning IQ himself.
Oh, you're floating. Yeah. Sometimes zone defense is pissing me off these days, because like a lot of people don't understand what they're doing. Like, what are you doing out here when you got 2 wide open shooters. What are you doing here? We already got the weak side help coming from right there. You're not him. You're supposed to be helping out in the perimeter. Why? Why are you doing this? Yeah, good play, good read by Jimmy, because Jimmy read the breakdown in the defense, because this is a total collapse here.
Sets a back screen, and it's a 3. This is a sub to 1, but actually putting the effort in to fake the misdirect and then use the screen to execute this inbounds play. Little things matter. Now that he's established his shot, he can do whatever he really wants to get into the paint, except there's a closeout. But he realizes it's the slow-footed Edie and beats him to the spot. Now he shot and drove. Edie's helpless. Jimmy reads his miss perfectly and hits the 7'4" Edie with the too small. Here again, the IQ of when to cut. He knows Steph draws a crowd, so he's already ready. But when he sees Aldama turn his head, there he goes, and a great finish.
Nice.
Look, here.
I gotta admit it too, and I sometimes I'm dead wrong on a take, and I'll admit it. I was dead wrong on this take. Jimmy Butler has impacted the Golden State Warriors in a way I did not imagine, and it's really cool to see right now.
Classic Jimmy, just staring down Triple J like, I'm about to spin, baby. You want to block it? And the whole time he's just waiting for Draymond. He knows Draymond is an old man, and Triple J is an elite shot blocker though. He reads it happening, and he beats John to the tip. That's just winning basketball.
Yeah, it is.
Also probably saved Draymond a tech for arguing it was a foul, so it's doubly intelligent. This one is a design play with 6'3" Steph screening the 7'4" Edie. But still, the bait and the timing of the cut are perfect. How many times do we see players just sag into the paint on this, and there's a kick out to the corner 3 for their man? Not Jimmy. He sees it coming and becomes the aggressor for another steal and 2 points. The problem with these winning plays is highlighters don't care about these things that much, so it's almost impossible to find clips. I'm working on getting more game footage for the future, but that's really the whole goal with this channel. Changing the culture, hopefully, to where we start to celebrate mentality and winning plays more over flash.
I would, yeah.
So finally to finish.
I love it. I love it. Absolutely.
Finish up the video. I'm going to show some clips.
Reminder, you guys, if you guys are enjoying this, consider subscribing to the Eric Smith Sports Training channel. It's pretty cool.
Holiday.
Jrue Holiday is solidified as probably the best defender in the league at the guard position. You know, you put Jrue in any system, any coach is going to ask him to guard the best player. I mean, we played them in 2018 second round, and he guarded me the whole series. And he was picking me up full court. He was guarding me in the post. And I actually, it was tough to dribble on Jrue Holiday. He slides his feet so well. He got good hands. He's strong. He got good instincts. Like, I gained a lot of respect for him in that series because he went from guarding me to Clay to Steph to guarding Draymond, neutralizing pick and rolls. Like, he's special.
Owning your role. Nobody wants to accept that role. The Derek Whites, the Jrue Holidays, they stand out. The Josh Harts.
If you guys want to watch somebody that's a skilled basketball player, just watch Jrue Holiday. Ain't no holes in his game. He not finna celebrate. He gonna score the ball, sprint back hard, get back before. They gonna build a wall. He gonna communicate. Like, it's like everything you supposed to do that come with it. It's all fun.
Jrue Holiday
I love Jrue Holiday.
Had the highest basketball IQ in the game. The only thing holding him back from being the best player in the league was being 6'4" and being only a 37% three-point shooter, which is good for league average, but a bit low for an elite guard. Let's start with one of the main things he's known for, his defense. This is my all-time favorite clip from Jrue because it's him in a nutshell. The point of this drill is for the offensive player to attack closeouts. Svi Mykhailiuk is 6'7", Jrue is 6'4". Every other NBA player would give up on this. Look at this block.
Ooh. Nice. Oh man. Yep. Damn. What a recovery.
And his most famous play in the NBA, which broke Phoenix and essentially won them the title. He reads the Booker spin, rips the ball away, and throwing the high-risk, high-reward lob to Giannis.
Nice.
And then this play, showing a great read and hustle, then seeing the outlet, then a good shot fake, and then the beautiful give and go with Porzingis. That's winning basketball.
Jrue Holiday, a basketball savant.
Yeah, he's a huge difference maker out there. And I bet Giannis misses the heck out of him.
This man is an absolute defensive genius. Please go watch the series he had while he was on the Pelicans versus the Portland Trail Blazers, offensively and defensively.
Heck, and if you don't want to do that, just watch him now. You know, watch him in the playoffs. You see some great play. Actually, Boston is hell of a team right now.
Obviously, he's got more of his notoriety from his Bucks and Celtics days, but that playoffs, he was finally healthy and at the height of his powers, and he outplayed Dame and CJ. I'll put the links in the descriptions to both this defensive highlight video from before and the Pelicans versus Blazers highlights. Please, if you guys want to see high basketball IQ, go check them out. I'll also put the list of
Good
guys.
point. He does keep touching. He keeps touching Lillard on like the shoulder, just to mess with his head, I think, huh? Break his
I
rhythm.
think young players should watch that I mentioned earlier in the video. And here's also a list of their best nicknames. You guys can put in the comments which one you think are the best. I'll leave you with the clip from Kobe's mind and several of the greatest winning IQ plays of all time. This is Eric Smith Sports Training. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like, please, for more videos like this. And leave a comment about other sports mentality and IQ topics
Captain
or players
America.
you'd like to see covered. Peace.
You see a player pump fake. If they're right-handed, the right leg always goes behind.
I've seen this.
Right? Now, demonstrate.
Yeah.
They throw a pump
Okay, wait.
fake. They do this.
He's breaking down why he did what he did as far as on the offensive end, why he pump faked the way he did, because he's one of the most brilliant, if not the most brilliant pump faker I've ever seen. Okay.
Right? See how the back leg goes back?
Yep.
Who the hell is going to shoot the ball from that position?
Nobody.
Right? So why would you fall for that pump fake?
Yeah. Your feet have to be set, lined up, like this. You can't have one here and then one here and a split, because you're about to attack at that point.
Not in a million years. So if a person's going to pump fake and you're looking at his foot and he's in that position, you know he's not going to shoot. He's going to drive the ball. You just back up, right? Now, if they're in this position, now you know that's a real threat.
Bob said he gonna set the tone to start the game. And he said, I'm running through Powell's fucking chest.
We was like, what?
Man, you tripping. Man, that's your teammate. You tripping. You ain't about to do that.
He said, first play of the game, then I'm running through that motherfucker.
Bang.
We was like, holy shit.
Ooh, yo. Can get up. I love this energy. This is what we need.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We was like, oh, ain't no way we losing this game.
Yeah, that's what it takes, man. That's what it takes, LeBron. That's the leadership.
Goes on in. And the ball gets knocked out of bounds by eight. Oh, they call it the other way. And now then
Steal by Bird. Bird. DJ lays it in.
Right at 1 second left. What a play by
Look at Big Bill. So happy.
The inbounding pass. Laid it up to DJ. DJ laid it up and in. And Boston.
By the way, DJ never gets enough props, man. He was a huge part of that team.
1 point lead with 1 second left. Oh my, this place is going crazy.
Out to MJ for
it's
three.
pandemonium.
It's short. Hornacek taking it ahead to Russell, but Michael, with whatever gas is left in his tank, gets back to pick.
Remember last year in Game 4, Stockton to Malone that won the game. The long pass over the fingertips of Michael Jordan. Stockton with a great pass. Michael just misses it, and Malone gets the layup really to seal the win. Well, moments ago, were we going to see the same thing here? A chance to go up 4. Hornacek throws the pass, and Michael Jordan, with every ounce of energy.
With 2 minutes and change left in this game, if he doesn't make that steal and recover the ball, the Bulls probably lose and they go to Game 7.
That he has, goes up and gets the skill.
Michael Jordan, at this advanced stage of his career, has to carry the team. He has
Look at
to
that
play.
focus. Look at his focus. You know, we saw earlier LeBron crying on the bench. This is Jordan just focusing, like about to go Super Saiyan.
Extra minutes in a grueling series. And that last sequence in the final half minute plus is one of the greatest sequences you'll ever see in any sport.
It's the greatest for me.
Now the Bulls would like to get 2 for 1 possession here. Try to get a quick score, get to the free throw line to give them 2 opportunities to 1.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, dude. Guys, I would subscribe twice if I could, because he's gonna show all of it, and because it wasn't just the steal, it wasn't just the last shot, it was everything that led up to it. Look, they're down by 3 at this point, guys. 41 seconds left, down by 3. Michael Jordan in the game.
Jordan
Gotcha.
Working on Russell.
They had to break through 3 defenders right there to get a quick layup, okay? No one talks about that too. That broke the lead down to 1. If he doesn't get that layup, again, all these little things, they have to stack up in order to win. If he doesn't get this layup, they're not in position to do anything at this point. But let's keep going.
Brings them to within 1.
All right, it's a big offensive play.
Jordan with 43.
Now, big defensive play coming. Boom.
Malone is doubled. They swat at it and steal it.
And this is what it means, being the best on both ends. This is what it means, putting effort on both ends. Because he's winning the game. On both ends of the court, he's doing all of it.
17 seconds. 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open.
Bang.
Chicago with the lead.
Freaking guy.
Timeout, Utah. 5.2 seconds left. Michael Jordan.
Give that man a raise.
Running on fumes with 45 points. If that's the last image of Michael Jordan, how magnificent is it?
I know. Well, it's the last image we ever see in a Chicago Bulls jersey. And what a memory it was. Yeah, give that man a freaking raise. Whatever they're paying MJ, it's not enough for the amount of effort he was putting in on both ends of the court. Plus being the captain and a leader. Jeez. Man, best worker ever. If I ever had a worker like that, I'd never let him go. Never, ever, ever let him go. Anyways, excuse me for my coughing. Great video. First of all, thanks go to commenter who led me on this path of watching this video. This was fantastic. For a channel that has 210 subscribers, I'm blown away. This is great content. And Eric, if this ever gets back to you somehow, man, I hope it led to some positive stuff. And I hope you know that I really, really think this is great content. I'll be keeping my eye out on your future stuff. So everyone, go subscribe if you're into it. If you're not into it, it is what it is. But yeah, I really thought this was a cool breakdown. It went in a lot of different directions that I wasn't expecting. But I love closing out with the Jordan stuff and showing the difference between what LeBron does, like the intangibles LeBron does, versus someone like Jimmy Butler, Jrue Holiday, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird. It's completely different. While, you know, LeBron will, you know, if LeBron blows it on one end of the court on the offensive end, then he's whining and crying and complaining instead of getting back on defense and making a big play. Yet all these other guys, you see them screw up on offense because they're human, but then they go and make up for it. We saw Bird do it, we saw Jimmy do it, we saw Jrue, you know, and then MJ at the end. In the last couple of minutes of that crucial NBA Finals Game 6 in '98, where yes, he did turn the ball over, but then he got it right back, you know, to break it even. So it's just, instead of complaining about it, just undo the mistake. That's the mentality. You break something, fix it. Don't whine about it. And that's something, you know, once again, that it's like, I don't know if I'd call it IQ, like Eric Smith is saying, but it's really like a maturity thing. And along with that maturity, you know, you talk about the anxiety and the, you know, what leads to choking, which is anxiety and panicking. That's really been LeBron's downfall the whole time. And maybe he could have gotten over it if he was more accountable, but he's been the least accountable basketball player I've ever seen at a professional level. So you can learn from your mistakes and grow from them if you acknowledge your mistakes and you don't run from them, but he's always run from them. So he doesn't get better because he's too worried about changing the narrative and trying to have a perfect image instead of actually trying to be the best basketball player ever, you know? Same thing, he calls himself the best ever, the greatest ever of all time, but he's not actually doing the things that it takes in order to do so. So, I don't know. I think that's all I have to say about it. Guys, let me know what you think down below in the comments. What do you think about the video? And what do you think? Is this more IQ related, or is this more choking related and maturity? Because I think it's more maturity. And no, I'm not trying to like, give the guy compliments or anything, but like, you know me, I'm a straight shooter. I think he does have a very high basketball IQ. I really do. I really, really do. When he's talking about the game, the guy makes perfect sense. But when I see him leading in the game in a high pressure situation, the things he does no longer make sense. But for those of you who have had issues with anxiety or something in the past or currently, you do some things that you're like, what the hell? Why did I do that? But the reason you did it was because you were freaking out. We're human. But the thing that we respect about people that what we call killers, Kobe, MJ, Larry Bird, guys like this, the nerves don't get to them. They never panic. You've never seen them panic. If they're doing it at home in private. But once they're on that court, they're zoned in, focused. They know what's at stake, and they go and do their best. If they lose, they lose. If they win, they win. But we don't see them choking, and that's the key. And that's something we've grown to respect over my life. Like we all always respected that. That's why we call them killers, because they're cold as ice. It doesn't matter how much pressure, what's on the line. They're gonna go out there and execute perfectly. Just like they would in the first quarter in a preseason, they're gonna go out there and do it in Game 7 of a finals. And that's why we always bring up the killer mentality when it comes to LeBron, is because, well, he don't have it. And that's a huge intangible that's required in order to be the greatest at anything. Peyton Manning's my boy, right? Like Peyton's my guy. But I always said his brother Eli was more clutch, because somehow Eli would get himself into some situations. I'm a Giants fan. He'd get himself into some situations and have to make a miracle comeback in the second half. In fact, we used to have this meme that was like, Eli Manning in the first quarter, and he looks like slumped. Second quarter, slumped even further. Third quarter, he's like super powered, super Saiyan. It's like, what is going on? But a better argument would be, Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady. Well, who finished the job more often? Even though I don't see Peyton like choking. Hey man, Tom Brady definitely finished the job more often, and I hated Brady, and I love Peyton Manning, but the results are what they are. Another example would be Brett Favre, because there's many crucial deep playoff situations where Brett Favre intercepts. He gets intercepted at the end of the game, and that leads to the end of the season. Seen it in Green Bay, seen it in Minnesota when he played there. Anyways, guys, I'm out of here. Let me know what you thought. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. Don't take my football analogies too seriously, because I'm thinking back on them. And the Peyton Manning one is pretty off base, because he didn't really choke. I never saw him choke. So disregard the Peyton Manning comparison. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to you in the comments. Peace out, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and be water, my friends.